Not long now. Hello and welcome along to a bonus episode of the Tackling Sport podcast. And it's just myself, Daniel Hussey here. And I just said, I'm conscious that a lot of people could be looking ahead to Cheltenham over the next few days. So I said I'd probably just stick with my selections in video form. If you want to see it in written form, it'll be up later on putitarena.com. And just said, I kind of give you my thoughts ahead the seven races and give you my selections and, kind of maybe a bit of update in the markets. And people like these videos, I might do it over the next 4 days and maybe Sean can join me for one of the days. But I just said I'd fire ahead and click record anyway. So we'll start off with the 120, the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Now, appreciate it. It's getting back. There was a little bit of rain in Cheltenham there last night and the grounds moved to cut to soft in places. That's kind of, I think, where a lot of the money's coming. So he's getting very close to that even money figure. However, I'm struggling to find a reason to back against him. Like, he'll face a small field. There's 8 runners. Like Ballyadam, I think on really good ground, he could have a chance each way. He finished second to him at the Dublin Racing Festival. English hopes are led by like Metier, Soaring Glory, who I just don't think are up to appreciate the standard. And he kind of sets the standard with the Grade 1 form, both at Christmas and the Dublin Racing Festival at Leopardstown. So for me, he will be my selection in the race. It's going to be, I've been burned plenty of times back in Willie Mullins at single figure odds and favourites. I think Duvan was the last Willie Mullins favourite, 2-1 in 2015. But it's going to be appreciated for me at around that 11 to 10, 6 to 5 mark. I was kind of waiting for a drift on the day. At the moment, it's looking like he could easily start odds on. So he's my selection for the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Moving on to the Arkle. It was going to be the race of the festival, really, when Energumene up against Shishkin and then All Mankind, but obviously Energumene's kind of been taken out. It's kind of like it's not the best betting race in the world, so I wouldn't put anyone off just not backing anyone in this race and just watching Shishkin, maybe throw Shishkin in a multiple or two, be it a Muggy Aka or something. But at the prices, if you are looking for a bet, I do kind of like Franco de Port in the without favourite market. So this will be without Shishkin market. It's currently available around 3-1. It should be pretty easy to find on your app. I just think if it's a strongly run race and All Mankind goes off a bit too fast in front, Shishkin picks him up, beats him. I just think Franco de Port could stay on. He made a terrible mistake at Leopardstown in his last race in December Racing Festival and actually did very well to finish second. I think it was 8 or 9 lengths behind Energumene. So that's good form. If it wasn't for the mistake, I had him in there around 4 or 5 lengths behind Energumene. Now, 4 or 5 lengths behind Energumene, for me, should get you within similar to Shishkin, maybe 6-7 lengths. And that could be enough to sneak second place and give us a winner. So 3-1, Franco de Port without Shishkin. That for me is a bet. So if you are looking for a bet in the Arkle, Franco de Port 3-1 without the favourite in the Arkle chase. Moving on to 230, and it's the Ultima handicap chase. Now, I actually wouldn't put anyone off back in the favourite here at Happy Go Lucky. The reason being that he fits all the trends. A lot of people are tipping him up, and it's so hard to go against him, and it's so hard to find a horse to take him on. But for me, it's too short to be backing in the Ultima myself. But if that's your kind of price, you're looking for the most likely winner, Happy Go Lucky is probably the bet. But I'm actually going to chance Milan Native here, who's a very impressive winner at the Kim Muir at last year's Cheltenham Festival. Now, he subsequently disappointed this season, but he did have a wind operation since his last run at Christmas. And with course form, such an important factor around Cheltenham, if that wind up has the desired effect, I think you can run a massive race here. And you can shop around. There's 5 places. There's up to 7 places, I think, with Sky Bet. So I think he's a really solid each way bet. And one thing I would say is the money's kind of come from the last few days. And sometimes that kind of puts you off a horse in terms of obviously the price is gone, which is obviously you want bigger prices. But for me, I think that's a positive because it's obviously had the desired effect, or at least the yard feel, the Gordon Elliott yard. Obviously now not Gordon Elliott yard, but it obviously has had the desired effect. So for me, at around the 7-8 to 1 mark, Milan Native each way, if you're getting 5 to 7 places, I definitely think that's a cracking bet each way. So Milan Native's my selection in the 230 Ultima handicap chase. So we're flying along here. So let's move on to the 305 Champion Hurdle. And for racing fans or even casual racing fans watching this, this is going to be the race of the festival, I think. I just paused there to have a think. Was I ready to make that assessment? But I know we've been burnt before in Champion Hurdles. Everyone remembers Apple's Shade, Lorena, Bouvadere up against 3, and Espoir d'Alan won by, I think it was 20 lengths to Mellon in second. And I think Lorena ended up being 3rd or possibly 4th. So that disappointed. I just don't see this one disappointing. Maybe, Goshen might set off too fast in front, but Goshen will definitely lead from the start. So straight away, you're engaged in the race. Like sometimes in races when they're 2 or 3 miles, you can kind of switch off if everyone's going at the same pace and positions, where I don't think you can take your eyes off this race at all. And Goshen, he could be anything, but I'm sticking with my selection of Honeysuckle. I think I napped her up on the day one preview podcast before, and she's getting well back now off the ground, back of the rain, which is definitely going to be no harm to her. And yeah, she's 2-1. I actually remember saying it's one of the lads I live here that she live with here. She could go off 6-4. And I kind of like retracted a little bit, going looking at the market, but all of a sudden the money is coming for her. And yeah, I think 2-1 right now. It depends when you're listening to this. I still think she's a really good bet at that price, because I think she's definitely like that rate run she had at Dublin Racing Festival, beating Abracadabras. I thought Abracadabras ran pretty well and close to his best. I think she's a massive player here. Like, I wouldn't put you off an each way selection in this race. I know, I think William Hill are 5 places. So if you're looking for a Sharjah, like I did back in each way, bet Abracadabras a few weeks ago, full disclosure, but I think the price has kind of gone on him. But like, he could run a massive race because he has that Cheltenham form. And obviously if Shishkin does win the Arkle, he could shorten up. So, but for me, it's Honeysuckle. I think she's a really good bet. And yeah, I'm really excited. I definitely think she can win. Yeah, I'm 340 in the mare's hurdle. I won't spend too long on this, only to say it is going to be a boring selection for me. For those that listen to our 3-hour preview live show, first of all, fair play. Thanks a mil for listening. It is available on YouTube if you want to watch it, but I was surprised that I was the only one excited about Concertista, or kind of made her a bet at the 5-4 mark. I don't have the live odds in front of me, but I think she's pretty similar to that price now. And a lot of lads went against her mainly because of the price, and that's completely fair. But for me, I actually think she's a rock solid horse here. I'm pretty excited to see how she gets on here in the mare's hurdle, because she was second in the mare's novice hurdle on her debut there 2 years ago, and she lost by neck. And had she won that race, she wouldn't be a novice the following year, which meant she would have probably had to run in the mare's hurdle last year. So that would have been interesting to see how she got on based on her mare's novice hurdle performance, where she won by half the track. If anyone has a bit of time in their hands waiting for Cheltenham tomorrow, go back and watch Concertista in the mare's novice hurdle. She absolutely bolts in, and that was over 2 miles. Now, people do have concern about her stamina, but I did think she was pretty impressive at Christmas Festival in Epperson, beating Manella Meneldy over 2.5 miles. So for me, Concertista, she's pretty solid. She'd be probably one of my strongest selections to tomorrow. So Concertista, I think she's the type of mare that she can go on and win countless mares hurdles over the next few years if connections want to do that. She could be really good in the champion hurdle, but the champion hurdle is going to be dominated by Honeysuckle, and I don't see Goshen going over fences anytime soon, although that will be an amazing prospect. But Concertista, she is my selection in the mares hurdle, and that is at 340. So yeah, so we're nearly there. Thanks for sticking with us. 4:15 in the Boodles juvenile handicap hurdle. And I kind of mentioned for those listening that I have a terrible record on the Friday, really, really bad record on the Friday. So don't back any of my selections on the Friday, and particularly bad record in the Gold Cup. But I actually have a good record in the Boodles here, which is always good to starting off when you're looking at a race. And horse I've had, selected, I have a couple of bets, is Saint Sam, who I'm delighted they're sending him here. Now, I actually think he has tremendous form, not just behind Zana here, but also behind Calixios in February. And he does have a high weight, but the fact that connections are sending him here instead of the Triumph, I actually think he could genuinely win this race, and he could be a little bit clear of the field here. It is usually a tough race. I know I said I genuinely have a good record, but it's probably the most competitive. Well, it is the most competitive race on the card. But yeah, I'd be pretty sweet on Saint Sam. I think he can run a massive race. I know he's got high weight, or top weight, very close to top weight, so he has to be a good horse here. But I do think he can defy that. And at about 5-1, I think he could be a little bit clear of these. I'm pretty excited. I went back and watched that run behind Calixios in Leopardstown, and I thought he was pretty good. I actually had him back that day. Common theme here, like I had Abracadabras behind, Honeysuckle backed. So that's when I tend to watch the horses ahead of the horses I backed, as opposed to my own, and try and reassess. But yeah, and I wouldn't put anyone off the backing Calixios for a Triumph, or even as soon as Saint Sam crosses the line and wins the Boodles tomorrow, we'll all be just cheering. The bookies will probably cut Calixios for the Triumph, and maybe Zana here, I suppose, to a certain extent. But for me, Saint Sam 5-1. They thought a lot of him initially, and I do think on top weight here he can go well. So yeah, Saint Sam for me. And then final race. Now, this isn't my strongest selection. I kind of mentioned on the day one podcast, I don't think I put up a tip for it. I said I kind of wait on the day, or a few tentative picks. I was against Galvin for the price. Now, I wouldn't put you off, and that's my kind of phrase, I think. But if you're favourite backers, if you're looking for an Aka, I wouldn't put you off throwing Galvin in. He could. I did watch his run at the Cheltenham Festival there. He ran over 2.5 miles last year, and he ran behind Imperial Aura, who was a very impressive winner. I don't know, like, I know he won over 3 miles in October on good ground at Cheltenham, which is brilliant, and it's the perfect stepping stone. So on paper, you look at that, and it's the perfect stepping stone to run in the 3 miles, 6 furlong national hunt chase at Cheltenham. Take your break, and he hasn't run since October. It's all plus. He's the trends horse, basically. I'm just not 100% sure that was a great race in October, and I'm not 100% sure that he will be suited to the 3 mile 6. It is a grueling race. Now, before we were looking like we were getting really good ground. It is still until the rain came there, but it is going to be soft ground. And just remember last year, Carefully Selected, and how terrible he ran. And courses aren't guaranteed to get the trip here. So I've done a bit of Human and Han. I'm going for Remastered here. I thought he was very impressive when winning the Reynoldstown at Ascot last month. And I think he should be suited to conditions here. I think the step up and trip will really suit. I wasn't concerned about the ground, but now it's definitely going to be at least good to soft. I reckon it'll be good to soft in places tomorrow. That'll be my prediction for the ground. So yeah, I think around the 8-1 mark, if you're looking for a bet, he would be my play here. So yeah, that's for the National Hunt Chase. So I'll run through my selections again. And for those that chance their arm and skip to the end, fair play to you. You're going to get these selections nice and quick. 120, appreciate it. He's my bet. 155, Franco Deport without Shishkin around the 3-1 mark. 230, I like Milana Native about 15-2 each way. 305, Honeysuckle 2-1. 340, Concertista around the 5-4 mark. 415, Saint Sam for Willie Mullins in the Boodles. And then 450 Remastered 8-1 each way. Now on Pundit Arena, I've kind of said I'll throw like a muggy multiple, and I think towards the rest of the week there'll be a bit more chance. So I only really came up with the treble. If you want the muggy treble, come on with us. There's nothing better, especially if the first one wins. We're going to go for Appreciate It to win the Supreme, Honeysuckle to win the Champion, and Concertista to win the Mares. Now, wouldn't that be great if that came in? So yeah, that's pretty much the video. Listen, let us know if you kind of like this, you want to hear for the rest of the week. No issues either way. I just said I'd throw one up there. I'm kind of like, it's Cheltenham Eve here, not much to do, so I said I'd throw it up there. All my selections will be available on puntarena.com with a little bit more detail into my selections. I pretty much have most of the work done for the other selections for the rest of the days. Just kind of waiting to see how the week goes, and 1 or 2 races I'm not too keen of. So because you can't have a strong opinion on 28 races, although I do try. But yeah, sure, let us know. The very best of luck with Cheltenham. Obviously, gamble what you can afford to do. And one thing to do, say, and I think it's important to note that obviously people are going to be home. Normally, you're maybe in the pub with the lads, or you're at Cheltenham. It's a lot more easier to stay in control with your gambling. So do obviously check in with people, keep an eye on things, disclose your bets with people so they kind of know, all right, you need to slow down or whatever. But most importantly, make sure you enjoy it. It's going to be great. And obviously, it's bringing us a bit of normality back, I think, because like, I don't know about anyone else. The Premier League's been great for me and as an outlet to kind of like take your focus away with what's going on. But even that, you're almost kind of sick of it. It's constant stuff. So yeah, Cheltenham, it's here. It's amazing. We're looking forward to it here at Tackling Sport. And last thing to say before I go, if you want more details and you haven't listened to our previous previews, they're all on our YouTube channel. And all I'd ask is, if you enjoyed the video, please like the video, please subscribe. And yeah, let us know. Let us know your selections actually in the comments, what your nap is for tomorrow. I'm going for my nap is Concertista. And I think Honeysuckle could be second best bet. So yeah, other than that, thanks for listening. If it goes well, myself and Sean might come back tomorrow, and we might even do a live show or something. So let us know if you enjoyed it. And if not, most importantly, very best of luck for Cheltenham tomorrow, and enjoy it.